Drive-thru workers of Reddit. What's the weirdest thing you've seen in someone's car? A baby kangaroo. To clarify, I live in New England and this is not normal. To be honest, I was just out of view of it. But it caused quite a clamor. Even in Australia, I can't imagine driving around with kangaroos is particularly common. Working drive-thru at Starbucks. Some guy pulled through with car filled with boxes. He said they were filled with flashlights and offered me some. I completely forgot about it till I got off work. When I got out to my car, there were 5 boxes each filled with 20 brand new Duracell flashlights still in the packaging. Had to be worth at least $500. And he had many more boxes. I work at a drive-thru car wash. Woman came through with a bucket of KFC mashed potatoes stuck to her window. We cleaned it off. I once complimented a woman on her purse that was in the exact shape of a chicken. It was made of colored rubber. Really unique item. She proceeds to tell me to hold on. Gets out of the car and grabs an identical chicken purse and gives it to me. Saying that she has been waiting for the right person to give this to. It was used and quite old. Worked at McDonald's. Especially in drive-thru. Saw a hoarder who could only go to our McDonald's because we didn't have a sharp turn into our parking lot. Her car was too filled, she couldn't use her steering wheel. Had someone with a pet pig and duck. Gave them free ice cream. Some dude was getting head. He was the driver. Couple sitting in the back seat were also doing SUAL things. He was fingering her and kissing her neck. A cardboard cutout of I should not. Danny DeVito. Good times. The gang goes to McDonald's. Once had a hearse complete with coffin pull through followed by family and friends in the cars behind. They said the guy in the coffin always enjoyed McDonald's. So it was his final wish to be visit one more time. Not a drive-thru worker. But I was in the passenger seat at a drive-thru bank and had a funny experience. Friend was depositing money. The teller sends back a receipt and a dog treat. Confused. My friend asks what the dog treat is for. The teller points and says your dog in the back seat. At that point, my friend's younger sister, who had been leaning forward brushing her own hair, looked up at the teller. The teller was very apologetic for her confusion. And we all had a good laugh. Well, except for the sister. She wasn't too thrilled about being confused for a dog. I was the driver in this case. But I worked at a grocery store. And our order of bananas hadn't come in. I was asked to go to another store in our chain and pick up extra bananas they had in stock. Decided to grab some food on the way back. With my car packed to the brim with bananas. The cashier seemed relatively unfazed. And just said, "Huh, that's a lot of bananas." Used to work at the drive-thru of Starbucks for some extra money about a year ago. I once had a couple drive up and the girl had a bunch of bags on her and in front of her feet. From what I could tell, they were rest toys. It was like 10 bags, but I just averted my eyes and handed them their drinks. Needless to say, the guy was pretty embarrassed because he could tell I was uncomfortable. Former Taco Bell worker. One time a guy ordered with a parrot on his shoulder. I didn't say anything about it. He didn't say anything about it. I still wonder if that's just how he drove around town. More than a dozen teenagers in a small hot-boxed car. $0.39 for a cheeseburger, limit 20 was the deal. They ordered 20. A giant, industrial-sized trash bag full of nachos. It pretty much took up the entire back seat. When I asked the guy where he was going to get enough salsa for those chips, he genuinely seemed disappointed because he hadn't thought of that. Apparently the Mexican restaurant next door was throwing them out and the guy asked if he could have them because he was stoned and it seemed like a good idea at the time. A lizard chilling on someone's dashboard being fed veggies. A cat was also in the same car. My lizard was on my dash the entire drive from CA to Seattle to Wisconsin. Never thought she was too out of the ordinary. Working at Hardee's, we had a bunch of drunks in a Target shopping cart being pushed by another drunk person come up to the drive-thru speaker to order dinner. We couldn't serve them because they weren't in a motor vehicle. I say motor vehicle because we had someone come up to the drive-thru window on a motorized bicycle, or hot rod bicycle, and we served them. Had a regular who would come through drive-thru with a parrot that would angrily demand french fries or chicken nuggets, varied from day to day. When at the speaker, the driver would keep stopping to tell it to shut up. Thought there was a drunk frat boy in the car with the driver the first time I came across the duo. Pretty bird. I usually saved a single french fry to give to him when I heard his familiar screaming through the headset. One time I was working drive-thru and I could hear the bass coming from this really expensive looking Jeep with those blow under lights. We were curious as to who would pull up. It was 4 guys dressed completely like the Blue Man Group. Music blaring. They didn't say anything. It was weird. Chick-fil-A. A butt naked, except a hat and sandals, middle-aged long-haired guy pulls through in a Jeep with all the doors and top taken off. We still served him. No one was comfortable looking at him except for me. I was the window person. I didn't make an expression and acted like it was nothing to me, and his goofy smile faded pretty quick after the less than enthusiastic my pleasure. Everyone thought I was God. Me one pervert zero. Nice. I also work at Chick-fil-A and I was at the window and these girls came up and were giggling like crazy, so as I'm about to hand them the food they moved forward and rolled down the back window so I could see the girl in the back with a strap-on dildo on and some other thing strapped to her face. Not sure what it was. I think I disappointed them because I didn't react. I just stood there until they grabbed the food and drove off. Business as usual. I wasn't the worker but instead the driver. I pulled through while holding a live chicken that I was bringing to my sister. Slightly off topic. I used to work at a sandwich shop called Lenny's, and whilst I was slicing meat one day a guy walked in and ordered his food wearing a full ghillie suit. I asked my co-workers later on and they thought nothing of it. Working night shift at Burger King, had a group of girls flash me for free food. Seemed like a fair trade at the time. A tortoise that took up the whole passenger seat. Well, it would have taken him too long to walk there. When I worked at Dunkin' Donuts, this guy came through the drive-thru with a huge falcon in his passenger seat. I once saw a woman roll up to the window and she must have been at a Minatrix as she had a man in the back in a leather outfit and a rubber pig mask. I can only imagine that was his kink to get embarrassed at a KFC drive-thru. Here's your 6-piece. Would you like me to humiliate him? Because I can do that free of charge. My mother used to work the drive-thru at Burger King when she was a teenager. She told me that a man used to come through some nights completely naked except for black see-through stockings. A man pulls up with, I assume, his college-aged daughter in the front seat and I assume his wife in the back seat. With a pacifier, bib, and pajamas. Crying her eyes out. I was so freaking confused. He asked for extra napkins for the baby in the back. I had no idea what was happening but I just went along with it. Handed the guy the napkins. He says thanks cause she makes a big mess when she eats and drives off. Still super confused. I just continued my day. 6 months later. I'm at a family reunion and my cousins are talking about some huge international scavenger hunt they participated in and show me the list of items and go through a drive-thru with an adult dressed as a baby in the back as one of the items to complete. It all came together, but man, I was confused when it was happening. Because I genuinely didn't see the daughter filming, which I assume she was cause it said you need video proof. I've looked for the video with me in it but can't seem to find it. Back when I worked drive-thru at a McDonald's, I had this guy ordering who. Number 1. Took like 5 minutes to order a breakfast burrito and a drink, so I was pretty fed up already when he got to the window. When this car pulled up, I was really not expecting to see a chick wearing nothing but a bra and panties in the backseat snorting coke off of an iPhone. I was staring at her while I took the guy's cash and she glanced up and noticed me and ducked down a little bit. Like, babe, you're in a pretty short car. If I can see the floor from here I can definitely see you. Guy just drove off to the next window like nothing happened. Also served a lady on a horse one time and was subsequently told they had to be in a motor vehicle to come through the drive-thru. But that wasn't as strange since there are horses in our area. That story escalated quickly. When I was working at McDonald's, one time a woman pulled up with 3 monkeys and ordered them each an ice cream cone. I still think about that from time to time. And I thought it was weird that this lady used to come through every morning and ordered a sausage biscuit for her poodle. For months. I just thought she liked sausage biscuits because she came through every day. Then one day we ran out of biscuits. She said, "Oh, that's okay," and pointed at the poodle in the passenger seat. He only eats the sausage anyway. From then on, we saved her close to $1.50 per week on dog food because asking for a sausage patty cost less than a sausage biscuit. The weirdest thing here is that your ice cream machine was actually working.